What is going on, Sad and Eggies Nation? It is your coach, Sir Jorge the Great, bringing you our draft analysis for the Banless Battlers League, also known as the BBL for short. It is a Ubers League, draft league, so very much excited to have yet another Ubers League in the channel. Last time we did Ubers was also in the BBL, and we don't talk about that run because we sixed on Lucas, but like honestly that team was just. So we're trying to make it back, y'all. This is my first like Wi-Fi recording league in a minute, and I've just been busy with life stuff. But anywho, going into the draft, we were 15th out of 16 picks overall, meaning that if you guys don't know how draft league works, basically we're given a set of points, and we got to pick a team of from 10 to 12 Pokemon, and bring the best 6 every single week against our opponent. So think about like fantasy football, and Pokemon had a baby, and that's where you get draft league. Baby. And with Ubers, we're allowed to have basically like the legendary Pokemon in the games. It's Ubers, it's like basically means this Pokemon is very, very strong. So anyways, going into this draft, honestly I had no idea what I wanted to pick up. I thought about maybe getting Calyrex Ice, the Ice Rider form, but it did not come to me, especially being 15th. Like a lot of the good Ubers were going to get picked very, very early on. And so my plan basically was to get like a lower end Uber that was still good, but allowed me to get some more of the like an S tier pick in regular draft, if that makes sense. And probably it'll make more sense in just a minute once I go over the draft. But that's basically it overall. We snagged all 12 Pokemon as a spoiler alert, so we have 12 Pokemon on the squad right now. And I'll explain more as what happened in terms of the draft with me. So yeah, first overall, I was in call with a few friends, and they recommended me that I grab this duo pick because I'm 15th. There's only one other person, ahead of me, so really I can pick out any 2 Pokemon that I want with ease, unless it's like a really, really sought after Pokemon. Whatever I got, I would always get those 2 Pokemon back to back. So the first round pick for me was going to be Kyurem White. We got Snow Blunt, the Kyurem White, and for those who do not know, Kyurem White basically is like this mixed form between Kyurem and Reshiram if they had like a baby, because in the lore of the game, Kyurem, Zekrom, and Reshiram formed what is called the True Dragon, or like the Origin Dragon, and we've actually never seen it before. It's like something that's just hidden away that might come out in a Gen 5 remake or just, a Legends game. But anywho, Kyurem White is a monster special attack destroyer. Like it has like base 150. I'll throw the stats up on the screen right now, but it is a monster, and it is our Uber for the season. I'm very excited to be trying out Kyurem White. I've always wanted to try out regular Kyurem in standard draft league, but I'll take the Kyurem White form because I think it just hits way harder, and I mean it's a bit more predictable, but those stats are just insane. And what's really nice about Kyurem White is like it gets access to Fusion Flare, which is Kyurem's signature move. And so basically we're able to punish the steel types that want to come in against the Kyurem. So I honestly am a huge fan of this Pokemon. I'm very much excited to be trying it out. In fact, I've already built for week 1 of the BBL, and so I'm very much excited to see how it turns out for me. But pairing it off, that was a round 1 pick. Pairing it off, I wanted to get a Pokemon that also hit hard, and basically it was just good momentum. And again, this is actually was suggested by Aquarius, so please go check out her channel out. We picked up Liberace, so basically Cinderace, but with a liberal ability, meaning that any attack that we go for, Cinderace will change its type to that type. So for example, if I go for a high jump kick, Cinderace will become a fighting type. If I go for a Pyro Ball, I will become a fire type, unless I'm already a fire type. And typically in standard drafts, if you do draft Cinderace, they don't allow that ability, but because this is Ubers, they allowed me to do it. So basically what it means is I have 2 Pokemon that hit really, really hard with Fire Stab. Or not Fire Stab, but just a fire attack. And I very much like that thought, very, very much so. But it meant that we had an issue with dealing with bulky water type Pokemon. And so that's something we do have to consider in the future drafts, and I think I kind of countered that out, and you'll see in a minute. But the idea is to either go into Cinderace or Kyurem White, and just to pivot into that. And so the key word here is pivot. I grabbed as much pivot as I could, so that way I could just deal with those threats, and just getting Kyurem on a favorable matchup. Essentially, it's like if Groudon's is out before he sets up, I can throw in my Kyurem and scare it out with a Choice Specs Ice Beam, for example. Or if I need to go into my Cinderace, something like that against the Steel type. So very much am a fan of this pairing so far. Cinderace hits really hard on the physical side. Kyurem hits really hard on the special side. So these are really good breakers. So I mentioned that we sort of have a weakness towards these bulky water type Pokemon, so I wanted to pick up a water type that could come in against it, or a Pokemon that could come in against it and punish it. So looking at an electric type, looking at a grass type. And so going into round 3, I decided to go pick up Rotomosh. Also, I didn't mention the Cinderace name. It's Isaac Brizuela, or I Brizuela, because his nickname is El Conejito in the history of the Guadalajara. But anywho, we have, I forgot, like Bitcoin, I think, because it's like modern laundering. Anywho, we picked up Rotomosh, and again, this gives us pivot. This gives us screens. It helps us deal with those bulky water type Pokemon on a Sir Water Ground type that we can easily swap in and to say no, you. Very much am a fan of Rotomosh. Rotom, I think, is one of the best Pokemon in Draft League. I think it's very good on what it does. So I think here it just looks really good. We can go in against the rock types. We can go against the steel types and the water type as well that Cinderace and Kyurem might struggle with. We can also pivot out. And what's really great about Rotomosh is that ground types have the immunity to the electric, but they're not good against the water type. So really punishing those ground types that really want to come against Rotomosh, I think, is fantastic. And so yeah, so these first 3 picks were like very much like hand to hand. What Adam was like, hey, you should grab these. This 4th pick was more my suggestion. Again, given with the theme of momentum, I did want to pick a Wish Passer, but I also wanted to get like the best fairy that I could. And so looking what was on the board state, and I looked around and I was, you know what, this is for my boy under the radar, Kelly. So we picked up Sylveon here, which I'm gonna nickname Kelly. And I think Kelly is going to do really well this week. It's a very specially defensive Pokemon, which I absolutely love. It gets the ability, Pixel Egg, meaning any normal type moves that we go for, like Hyper Voice, will get turned into a Fairy type move, which is really good. But the main idea is Baton Pass Wish. Being able to sort of Wish Pass into my Kyurem, into my Cinderace, into my Rotomosh, I think will be really good here. Especially because, we can switch into, on the Steel type, we can switch out into Cinderace, or we can go into Kyurem Life or Choice Scarf, and it's a really slow Steel type like Solgaleo. So we're getting the ball cooking, y'all. I love these first 4 picks. I'm a huge fan of. Absolutely love it, and I think we're starting off strong, in my opinion. I think we're going in a really good direction. Coming up into round 5, I want to get a grass type, and I was looking at what was available, and to be honest, I looked at it and I was like, man, I probably shouldn't be drafting this, but I like the idea of adding Sun to this team. Like I mentioned before, Cinderace and Kyurem might hit really hard with Fusion Flare and Pyro Ball, and they really struggle with water types. So I figured it would be cool if I got to boost those fire type hits, right? Basically giving a stab to Kyurem White and an additional buff to the Cinderace, which already hits really hard. So I wanted to pick up a Sun Core. And so Venusaur was still on the board, so we got our boy Sativa the Venusaur, and this is going to be starting a Sun Core with our team. So Venusaur being a good sweeper for the team, being a grounded poison type, being able to absorb those toxic spikes if we need Sativa too, being able to just Sleep Powder, Leech Seed, different things. I think it's a really good option for the squad. I think it gets us a really nice fast Pokemon as well outside of the Cinderace. So that being said, in round 6, we did pick up El Tortuga, the Torkoal, so giving us a sound component. Groudon's already drafted, it is an Uber. In fact, actually, my week 1 opponent, Incog, has Groudon, so expect, that matchup. But Torkoal giving us access to Stealth Rocks, giving us access to Rapidston, which is, removal that we only had in... Actually, no, I don't know what I'm complaining about. We have Port Change and Defog with Rotomosh and Cinderace, so, just giving us that more removal option. But yeah, I very much like Sun here. I think it adds a little spice to the squad with the Kyurem and the Cinderace just hitting just a little bit harder, especially because Cinderace can go +1 with a Poke Up and just start annihilating my opponent's team. So I'm a huge fan of Torkoal here. Going into round 7 and 8, I think this is where I got hit with COVID, and I kind of stepped away from the computer. So these last few picks, I actually did it all at once, and so it wasn't the best idea, but I'll still go through them one by one. So this next pick, I wanted a for sure like a Pokemon that I knew I could send in, and I would always get the job done in terms of removal. So, and I still needed the Steel type, and I didn't want one that was, what was it? I forgot what it was. Looking at my core, there was something I needed. I needed to be, or I was trying to get like a non-fighting weak Steel type for my Kyurem. So I ended up picking up Corviknight instead, or I picked up Corviknight, and Corviknight's still a good Pokemon. It's a reliable defogger with a mirror armor, and any Intimidate users are going to get, the Intimidate bounce back into it. So it also has pressure, so there's a lot of options with it. We could also be like an Iron Defense, Power Trip set, or that freaking Drake tried to bring against me, and I actually countered really, really bad, or well. So if you want to check that out, videos right there. So yeah, it was just a Pokemon that I could reliably get removed. I think it gets Stealth Rocks? I don't remember. But I think it's still a fantastic Pokemon. Probably the weakest of like the additions to it. But I think the rest of the team that I did pick up, I think is really, really strong. It's kind of meshes well with the team. I think I might get shit on it, but who cares? I think my first few picks are really, really strong. So these Pokemon are meant just to support the team. Next up, I wanted a reliable rocker, so they did a ground type, and so what was left was a Mudsdale. I got Little Shayax, the Mudsdale, just a really good Pokemon overall, very, very bulky, being able to take a hit from like a Ho-Oh, I'm looking at like a Koko, and so I just think it's a good Pokemon. It gets stamina as an ability, basically meaning every time it gets hit by an attack, its defense is boosted, which I think is really, really clutch. But the only issue is it doesn't have great recovery outside of like leftovers and rest. So, it doesn't take that well of an advantage of it unless you like bring your rest to chest. Anywho, yeah. And these last 4 picks I definitely made back to back because, again, I was gone for like 3 days, and when I came back, they were like, oh, the draft has ended. Pick your team now. And so I kind of went through it all at once. I'm just going to go over whatever it is on the document. So the next pick, we ended up picking up Ayotoni, the Scrafty, name after, the great Tony from CB's Marcus's INT run. Scrafty is an Intimidate user. It's a Dark type that we desperately needed. It's also a Fighting type. It also gets Moxie, which is actually really, really good. If you wanted to sweep, you know what I mean. Brain farts. But it's just honestly, I was just getting the Dark type. I was trying to see what the best Dark type was. I was thinking about getting Bisharp, but I just didn't. I didn't think it was gonna work well with me with my playing style. It just goes to a bunch of 50-50 with Sucker Punch and Iron Head or Knockoff. So, pardon me. I decided to just go with Scrafty. It was the best Dark type that was on the table still. Next up, I am actually really, really excited for this next pick because I think it goes kind of well. Again, my initial thought was Momentum. Oh, that's also why I picked up Corviknight, because it does get access to U-turn. That was a big reason why I picked up Corviknight. But speaking of, U-turn, the next thing we got Urakan, the Tornadus, and big reason why I got this is for Prankster, it's for Prankster Defog, Prankster Tailwind. It's a U-turn to go into my Kyurem, into my Cinderace, and just basically just go pew 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 pew. Tornadus is a really good flexible Pokemon that I can bring almost any week. It does the job. It gets Knockoff, it gets Urakan. It's a good Pokemon. So very excited to try out Tornadus here. I really enjoyed using Landorus in my ICP run with the Sand team. So excited to see how Tornadus does here. Not the biggest fan that it's really rock weak, but oh well. Next up we got a rocker. We got boy the Sudowoodo for 1 point, and again, I was just looking at what was left over, and there wasn't that much. I just looked at what was the best 1 point I could pick up, and Sudowoodo's kind of there. Be able to run like a choice band, Sucker Punch, or a Head Smash. Really, really playing the 50-50 games. Absolutely love it. Might even bring us up to 2 Focus Punch set 1 week. Who knows? And so yeah, wrapping up the draft, we have 2 points left. And whenever I'm lost and I really don't know what to pick, you know what I'm gonna draft at this point. I picked up Neggy. I picked up a little Neggy because why not? I'm honestly, I am trying to win, but at the same time, sometimes you just gotta pick up your mascot, and so I picked it up here. And I'm not honestly, I don't think Eggy really adds anything to the team. I think it's just there for style points. because I just didn't know what else to get. 3 points there wasn't much there. But anywho, that is the squad. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Yeah, I'm getting back into making content. It's been weird and, you know, being away, but I miss it. I really do miss making content for you guys. It's just, you know, it's just been a struggle. I've been dealing with my own personal stuff and moving back home and... But anywho, I love you guys, and make sure you hit the like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Your Sun and Eggies are gonna rock it out this season, hopefully. Maybe make it to playoffs, who knows. Anyways, I love you, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.